Hey everyone, so the new limited event has started / is going to start based on when you're watching this video, and I am currently in the KR version of the game because it's not out in the EN server when I'm recording this video, and I wanted to have gameplay in the video for a better visual. And there's a lot of stuff to talk about. If you played the Secret Swan event last year, then you'll pretty much know how the event works and what your mindset should be going into this event. But if you didn't play last year, or if you're new to this event in general, then there's going to be a lot of things I need to explain. So for this video, I'm just going to talk about how the event's going to go, what's in the event, and pretty much the best way to get the 5-star HiMERU for free. Because it is possible, you just need to put a lot of time and effort into it. Well, with that, let's just go ahead and start and talk about the scout first. So usually for these events, there's going to be 2 parts. So currently we are in part A, and for part A, we're going to have the Jewel of Jekyll limited scout. And as you can see right here, the focus of this scout will be Nazna. And since the event has started in KR, we can actually look at the stats for Nazna. So Nazna is a yellow card with his main stat in vocal, and his vocal stat is pretty high, 48,000, and his overall is fairly high for that high main stat as well. And Nazna support skills increase drop rate of large blue pieces. And as usual for limited cards, there is going to be no SVP, but instead let's look at the costume. And thanks to the game having the 3D room and the fitting room, we can actually look at it very closely. As you can see, he has like rabbit ears for his hood thing. He has a little crown on here, and I think his costume looks really cool. And then once the event starts at the end, you can go into the fitting room and look at it yourself. And alongside Nazna, we're going to get the 4-star Soma and 3-star Mitsuru. And then another thing is that this scout is going to be limited. Some limiteds tend to come back, but some don't. And since this scout is going to be tied to an event, this scout will most likely not come back. So just go into it thinking, this is going to be your only chance of getting Nazna, unfortunately. And then for part B, we'll be getting a new scout, and based off the previous event, which was Secret Swan, it was focused on Star Pro in part A, and then part B was focused on Cos Pro. So for this one, they're going to first do Rhythm Link, and it's probably going to be someone from New DI for part B. And if you've seen some leaks that happened, you might know who it is. I'm not going to say who it is, but it's probably going to be someone from New DI. Okay, that's it for the scout. Let's talk about the actual gameplay of the event. Okay, this is going to be the main part of the event. It's going to be pretty much a merge game. So as you can see on the board, this is what you get in the beginning of the game. These give you a bunch of stuff that fills up the board. And first, let's talk about the layout of the actual UI. So as you can see on the left right here, you'll see these tasks. And as you do tasks, you'll get points for finishing a task once you make the items for it. And some of these tasks will have a red border, like the one on the top. And if you finish those tasks, those will be special tasks that give you extra points. And you'll get 10 a day of those, so be sure to do those every day. As you can see, I'm just going to click this and I'm going to finish that. And I got some extra points there. And at the bottom part right here, you'll see some boxes and tickets. So these boxes are going to be the way to get items to merge. So I'm going to click this one on the left right here. And that's going to spawn an item right here. And as you get these items, you can merge them into new pieces. And pretty much this is the gameplay. You're just going to merge until you get the item that you need.
Oh my god, what is that?
And as you can see right there, once I merged that, I got this interesting bonus piece. So these are going to be what I call bonus items. And these are going to be specifically for selling only. They will not be items that you can trade into the task. You just need to pretty much merge them into the highest or higher tier, and you can sell them for extra points. And that will be more important once we talk about how to be more efficient with getting points. And as you can see on the bottom, there's going to be 4 categories of items that you can get. The smaller the max is for the containers, the more valuable it is going to be. And then you'll also see this, and these are called upgrade tickets. So pretty much you can use them as substitute for a similar item, and pretty much it will up a tier of any item that you choose. I would recommend saving these for the higher tier items, and we'll talk more about this when we talk about more efficiency. And then for these boxes, you can get them naturally as time goes on, or you can buy them pretty much from the store for however many diamonds it says. And you can also buy the items directly for the higher tier items, and pretty much this is a way for you to save time / a way they want to take your diamonds away if you don't have the time to do this. And this is how they really get you with making cards more expensive, honestly. But I do this sometimes if I don't have time, because it's really time consuming once you actually start playing. But if you have the time, I would really recommend not buying it directly, and we'll talk more about that later. And there's one last item right here, which is you can pretty much buy these mystery boxes that will give you a sort of mid-tier item for any of the categories. So it's pretty much a luck of the draw. You'll get something you might want, you might not get something you want type of thing. And you can also buy upgrade tickets in the shop as well. And these two items reset daily, so there's a limit how much you can buy a day. And on this part on the right here, it's going to keep track of how many points you have and where you're at with the milestones in the game. So as you see, as you get more points, you'll get some really nice rewards, from time limit Dia Scout tickets to these coins, which are very important for something in the shop later, and some stat pieces, and eventually you'll be able to reach your first copy of HiMERU at 500,000 points. And then also you'll be able to get some extra diamonds just from finishing certain milestones, and some ranking titles and stuff. And then for people interested in how many points you need for HiMERU, this is going to be how much you need. I'm going to place it on the screen right here. And that is pretty much the gist of the actual gameplay. It's pretty simple once you actually start playing it. It is going to be sort of hard to figure out how to be efficient, and I'm going to talk about that in a section after I talk about the shop. So once you reach certain milestones, you'll be getting these coins, and you can use these coins to trade in for some goodies, from limited time scout tickets to diamonds to backgrounds to plushies and furniture in your office. And as you can see right here, since it just showed us this says it's going to open in May, so that pretty much means that the next part of this event is going to start in May. So yeah, I didn't know that. I thought it was going to start maybe in June, but I guess not. And then another thing is that there's going to be some kind of notebook right here. And once you get all of the items in a category, you'll be able to get some diamonds based off that. So I did all of these, so I'm going to get this one. And then once I get more of those, I'll get 90 more diamonds, and etc, etc. Okay, so now let's talk about how to be efficient with the stuff that you get, and how to get HiMERU for free if you're only going for one copy. And this honestly applies to every copy you want, from max, 1 copy, 2 copy, 3 copy, whatever. So first off, it should be pretty obvious, is that you don't want these items to be maxed out a lot. So you want to be able to use all the boxes as soon as possible, and especially like when you're about to go to sleep, you want to use all these boxes before going to sleep so you can pretty much just let them regenerate by the time you wake up. I think these regenerate around 12 hours or 8 hours, something around that time limit, so be wary of that and make sure that you're on top of your game. If you let it overload or overrun, then you're losing out on some boxes and some potential points. Number 2 is you should do this as manually as possible. And this sort of goes back to the coin right here that you get once you merge the manual. If you just buy items from the shop, you won't be getting these coins, and then you won't be getting those extra bonus points that will really help you a lot. Because once you reach like level 10, even 9 or 8, they give you a lot of points just for selling this one item. So that is going to save you a lot, and also buying it directly is going to cost more than just buying boxes and just merging everything manually. Granted, if you have the time. This is a time-consuming game, and I know a lot of people don't have time, which is why if you have to buy it, that is perfectly fine. But if you do have time and you want to save as much time as possible, you really need to do this as manually as possible. And 3, for the upgrade tickets on the bottom right here, in my opinion, you want to use them on these treasure, coin, whatever bonus things, and not at like level 1, 2, 3, whatever, but at like level 8, 9, or 10, depending on what you feel like. If you're going for a lot of copies of HiMERU, I would really suggest you try to do at least level 9 to 10. If you're going for maybe like 1 copy of HiMERU, level 8 is fine because you won't be needing a lot of those anyways. And I would really suggest you not ever using these upgrade tickets on actual items unless you're really desperate and you really need it, because sometimes these special tasks can be really rude and ask you for 3 really high tier items in a row, and that's not really feasible for a lot of people, and you just have to either buy it from the shop or use your upgrade tickets. But I would really highly suggest you not do that. And my 4th tip is you should keep a milestone goal every day. So depending on how many copies you want, you should divide that by the amount of days you have to do the events, and then try to keep that up for each day. So for example, if I wanted to go for max copies of HiMERU, which is at 3.5 million points, then I would have to grind 125,000 points a day since it is going to be 4 weeks. And you just divide your goal points by the amount of days, which is 28 days. And just try to keep that goal for each day as much as possible. I'm not saying you have to keep it every day because I know people get busy and you won't be able to do it every single day, but just try to keep track of it so that you can pretty much prevent yourself from using a lot of diamonds and to keep it as on track as possible. And then my last tip is this is a very time strenuous game. Last year when I was playing this event, it was awful. Like I was just on my phone for hours a day just doing this and trying to reach the goals to pretty much just get the 5-star last year as little diamonds as possible. This honestly in my opinion, this event is very hard on just time, and honestly this game mode is sort of built to try and make you spend diamonds as much as possible. If you end up using diamonds, don't feel bad about it. Have fun with it and just take your time. And I know you have to reach certain milestones a day or you have to reach a certain milestone by the end, but you have 4 weeks to do this, and hopefully you'll be able to have a lot of time or some time to take out to just play this event and reach the milestone that you need to eventually. And to help with everything with like getting to certain milestones and stuff, the game does have a login bonus that will give you some of the upgrade tickets, and those are going to be great for just trying to get HiMERU for free for people that go in for 1 copy. And then also, from my experience from last year, I think it's pretty doable to get HiMERU for free. You don't have to really play it that hard, to be honest. You just need to be on top of your game, where to use your upgrade tickets, do the task on the side, the red one specifically, and just keep track of your points. You might use some diamonds here and there. It's not going to be a lot, honestly. Maybe like 1,000, 2,000 maybe for 1 copy, especially if you really drag it out the 4 weeks. But if you're going to go for a lot of copies, I think my experience last year, I spent around 30 to 40k diamonds. I'm not really too accurate on what amount it was, but I'm pretty sure it was around that range. And that's me being really stingy. I hardly bought items and I always did everything manually, which is why I said it's going to be very time consuming. But if you're going to buy items directly and play the event in a sort of less effort, less time way, then you're going to be spending a lot more diamonds because you're going to be spending a lot more diamonds to pretty much save time. And in this case, time is money because you're literally paying to spend less time in this game. But all in all, this event does give out a lot of good stuff. You get some tickets from the coin shop thing, trade, whatever. And you also get some tickets from the milestones as you get more points as well. And you can also get some really cute furniture, as you can see right here on the screen. But that is it pretty much for the video. I hopefully went over a lot of stuff that's going to be helpful for people to approach this event and give them like a more realistic mindset and view of how to approach this new event. Like I said, this event is very time consuming if you want to save diamonds. If you don't want to save diamonds, it's not going to be that time consuming, and it's going to be a lot less effort because, like I said, time is money in this event. But with that, that is it. If you have any questions that I didn't pretty much go over, and if you have following questions for stuff that you might be confused about, feel free to ask them below and I'll try to answer them as best as possible. And if you like the video, feel free to like the video. And if you like the content of the channel, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Every little thing helps. But with that, that's it. Hopefully you'll be able to do as much as you can for the event with the time you have. And hopefully you can get the HiMERU and the Scout as well. We should also be getting a free 10 pull, I think, when the event starts, because we did reach the retweet milestone on Twitter. But yeah, that's it for the video. Hope you have a good day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you next time. So, peace.